welcome to Rams Iconic. I'm your host, DeMarco Farr, and this is the podcast where I get to catch up with some of the greatest players in Rams history. It's a chance for you, the fans, to take a trip down memory lane and reminisce about some of the greatest moments you've had as a Rams fan, but also an opportunity to introduce to some of our newbies, our newer fans, the iconic players that have made this franchise what it is right now. This is the special edition of Rams Iconic as we are here with you from Penthouse 56 in downtown L.A., hosted by the L.A. Rams and SoFi leading up to Super Bowl 56 on Sunday. And like I said, our next legend, love it, is an OG. You know what an OG is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Original, absolutely.
OG L.A.
Led the team as its quarterback from 1996 to 1998. Also led the league in passing touchdowns. 2 straight years, 88 and 89. Please welcome in Jim Everett. What's up, big fella?
DeMarco, good to be here. You know what?
What? Yeah, I've been chasing you around forever.
Bro,
yeah.
I'm looking around at this place.
What?
And your crib here is nice.
Isn't this outstanding?
You've upgraded.
I've made it.
It's
a talk show.
And I'm just happy to be just like on your coattails.
Me and Oprah. Come on, it's here. I have been chasing you around half my life.
I've never been up this high in LA. This is nice.
Get out of here. This is crazy. Have you looked out the window yet?
I have.
Go ahead.
I have.
Look out and look down. I dare you to look down.
Hey, where's your bedroom and all this stuff, DeMarco?
That's all on the back. See that TV?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I press a button and, you know.
What is that, like a 150-inch TV up there?
Actually, it's 160. See?
Oh,
it's a big screen TV.
Lord.
That's my Jim Everett TV.
Dude, you've always been bigger than life anyway.
At least my butt. At least I knew it. See, I knew it.
I didn't go there. You did it there.
I
didn't go there.
I'm preemptive. I'm getting in there. I know you. I know you. You know, but tell me something. I got to the Rams in 1994. It was different. The fan base was different. What was it like for you to play here, to be an L.A. quarterback, late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, we were situated south of Los Angeles. We were down in Orange County, so it was a little different. The ownership was different. Mm-hmm. And I said this: if you can say you worked for a millionaire, today they're working for billionaires.
Yeah.
All right, there's a whole different thing. The industry's changed, the game has changed, and I do think it's for the better. You know, the protection of the quarterbacks, keeping guys like you off our head.
No.
Keeping guys like you off our knees.
Wait a minute. You're like 6'7". I can't even touch your head. Come on.
But I know, I look at guys like Patrick Mahomes, and I'm like going, man, he couldn't survive during our era. I mean, I look at guys like Rob Johnson, who was in our era.
Yeah.
He got broke all the time. And Kyler Murray, they'd wipe him off the map if he was playing during our time, because it was, balls away, and if you're still one step ahead, one step away, you're blowing up the quarterback. And that was just the name of the game. It was chuck and duck.
No doubt. Yeah, I love that term. Here's the question. How would you like to play for a guy like McVay? And his concepts and what he's doing right now?
Well, this is the deal. You're not only playing for Sean McVay with this deal, but him and Les Snead are like attached to the hip.
Yeah.
So they're bringing in guys that do specific things that Sean wants. This whole thing between Stan Kroenke, between he's given a full range for Les to do what he wants to do in the terms of what McVay needs. That support, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of Eddie DeBartolo. It reminds me of Bill Walsh.
Oh.
And it reminds me of the San Francisco 49ers.
That team up north.
Our era when they won 4 Super Bowls.
I
know, but
them.
You can hate it, but you got to respect it from a player's point when you're seeing that coordination.
It was just frustrating because we couldn't beat them.
Well, we beat them a few times, but
you did.
It was
you did. Right.
But I tell you what, when they were on us the last 6 times, we finally got it now. Man, that was such a relief. But I still think Shanny got away. He was sending receivers deep. He was putting that back on Reader, and he got away from it.
Yeah.
It's 17-7. I really think that was a coaching error.
It could have been. That was the sweetest victory, that I think I've been a part of as a broadcaster, because they had you. The 49ers had you. You know what I mean?
Oh, they did.
Psychologically, they just knew they were the physical team, and to see them get out-hit in SoFi was special to me. Right. It was different. What'd you think, watching?
Oh, man. Yeah. The fact is, when I saw those 49er fans leave the stadium, that was...
Nah. Hey. Don't let the door hit your butt.
I'm still smoke. I was on San Francisco radio just yesterday, and man, I'm still blowing smoke at them. I'm telling you what.
Big time.
People don't know this, and I told them I was almost a San Francisco 49er.
When? Where? before you became a Ram or after?
Well, the reason why the Rams were interested in me is because the 49ers were trying to trade for me.
Wow.
And people don't realize I got drafted in the third pick of Houston, right? Houston Oilers, so the team's not even there. So it's
in
kind of
San Francisco. Go
well,
ahead.
Joe Montana's back was bad.
Right.
Okay, so that season they were like, man, we got to do something. He survived it, and that spring they ended up getting Steve Young. But in the fall, right before the season, because they knew he had a bad back, and he survived it.
They were coming after you.
They wanted Michael Carter. They wanted all these draft picks, and then so the Rams got word that, damn, 49ers were after this quarterback. So then they came up and developed a package that was a little richer than what the 49ers wanted, and they didn't really want to part with Michael Carter.
Wow.
Yeah, so I haven't really told people that story. So I was almost in that system. Now, going a little bit later, before we hired Chuck Knox, Mike Holmgren was going to be a Ram coach. They wanted a second-round pick. We were going to get Mike Holmgren to be, and we're going to change our offensive system, but that never happened.
Oh.
And I didn't have any input on that.
This is the biggest what-if I've ever heard. Wow, go ahead.
So, I mean, the behind-scenes stuff in the NFL is incredibly
So this
crazy.
is Holmgren before Green Bay?
Before Seattle.
Before Seattle.
Yes.
So, oh my goodness, wow. All that could have happened here.
All of it could have happened here. Now,
and you could have been up there.
Guys, ownership matters. Ownership matters. Now, let's go right to today. We got Stan Kroenke that comes up with $5 billion to build the eighth wonder of the world called SoFi.
Beautiful.
Doesn't happen every day.
Can you imagine playing in there? Can you imagine your career in that stadium?
No.
They could see you from space. Can you imagine that? Unbelievable. Oh, my God.
I know. It's
wow.
It is a special place. Now, do you know that stadium's kind of designed after the Dallas Stadium?
I do, yeah.
Okay, and so I heard rumors that when Jerry Jones came in and looked at it, he goes, man, this is like my template here, right? He goes, but damn, it's been upgraded a lot.
A little bit. A little bit. It's special in there. Yeah. You know, if they get this thing here, if they win a Super Bowl in L.A., oh, my gosh. Yeah. What do you think the city's going to do?
Well, first of all, I think it's a huge advantage that the guys are at home.
Yeah.
Home cooking. Now, I didn't get a chance to
Your
go.
own bed.
I've been to a bunch of Super Bowls. I didn't get to play in one. I've been to a bunch of them, and it's a damn circus. So when people go to a different city, the family's over here, this is over here, it's like vacation, right? And some guys lose a little focus. Well, this time, they're at home, getting home cooking, staying in their own bed, and they're even taking Super Bowl pictures at their own practice facility.
Dope, right?
I mean, so if they just relax and play their own game, this is theirs. I'm telling you, it is.
It's a good opponent, too. It's the right opponent. Right. Do me one favor.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite play? Jim Everett's favorite play from your career?
Yeah, I probably have a 844 Ricky or 844 Lucky.
Okay, give me one in the game. Describe it for me real quick.
All right. So it was probably against the Giants, and in overtime, we ran that play like 3 or 4 times in a row. It's 7-man protection, so it's a pro right, pro left, Liz or rip protection, 844 Ricky or Lucky, depending if we're going right or left. And that just basically means I've got a skinny post on the backside that converts to a go route if he gets pressed. And I got double ends on this side and both backs going the opposite way. So what that did was it's a very good man coverage, a very good zone coverage. And so we knew once we got about the 45, and I'm talking about the play in the playoffs that we hit flipper on the touchdown.
Yeah.
That was an 844 Lucky.
That's flip. That play? Wow.
We knew they knew they were coming. We knew we could block them up, and I just had to get the ball to flipper because we knew we had one-on-one with a Bill Belichick defense that likes zone coverage.
Right.
Now I got him in one-on-one, advantage flipper all day long.
See, look at this dude. See, this is why I love him right here. This is why I love him. He still remembers the play call. Absolutely. Man, thanks for joining us, man. This
Big
is really
D,
nice. This
love it,
really
man. You
cool.
do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Ram Nation, I'm going to tell you, you're the best.
Yeah.
You really are. You're really good, and keep doing what you're doing because I love it, man.
I can't invite you to my mom's house. There's a big picture of you at my mom's house, but you won't like it.
What am I? How bad am I sacked?
You're kind of wearing me as a cape.
Am I wearing a Saints jersey?
You're wearing a Saints jersey.
All right. Well, that was a good matchup.
Yeah.
You know, it was tough leaving the Rams. I mean, it really was. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Good to see you.
Oh,
man, that's a big
Go Rams.
Jim Everett. Another legend. Like I said, another Hall of Fame legend, multiple-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro, Can I say cornerback or safety? Which one would you like me to introduce you as, cornerback or safety?
When you do 12 at corner and you do 2 at safety, you probably need to say cornerback.
That's what I said. Yeah. Cornerback, Aeneas Williams. That's that voice right there. What's up, man? How are you?
I am fantastic. Glad to be here with you, man. It's kind of like DJ Khaled. These legends keep coming up. Another one.
Another legend. Absolutely, man. I mean, look, how special is this to be in the Super Bowl, number one? Number two, to have a Super Bowl in your own city. How is that?
Well, it's special, one, just to see the entire team and how they've developed with Coach under Sean McVay.
Yeah.
And the talent that they have. OBJ, my fellow New Orleanian, seeing him get this opportunity, seeing a Stafford who was in a position like I was 10 years with Arizona, only one winning season.
Wow.
And now he comes out here and has an opportunity to play with a brilliant mind, great players. Those are the type of stories that I love to see.
Well, let's stay with that, with the Matt Stafford for a hot minute. I mean, you were in Arizona, like you said, toiling away. You were a great player, but the team wasn't very good.
Right.
Kind of like Matthew Stafford. How did you not give up hope that someday we'll get over the hump and I'll win a championship, if not with this group?
Understanding how important it is, and anybody that's listening, that to not allow your surrounding to cause it to become you. As it relates to the standard of excellence, I didn't care what the game was. I didn't care how many games we had won or lost. My preparation and what I needed to do to prepare myself, whether we won or lost, was a standard that I had. And the late John Madden actually told my father when I got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he says, you have to understand, Mr. Williams, that Aeneas being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame is unique because a lot of these guys come off winning teams.
Right.
And when the Rams traded for me, DeMarco, Coach March said to me, even though when we looked at the film of you, when you guys were losing, we could not tell the way you were playing the game.
Not at all. I remember. Yeah, I remember watching film, and like you said, the standard is the standard. That kind of describes you perfectly because, I mean, Arizona was Arizona, but Aeneas Williams was an island. You know what I mean? And you can get lost there.
It's interesting you say that because a lot of people don't know. Number one, I used to be fearful. I didn't think I could play in Buddy Ryan's system. So literally, I was a restricted free agent going into my fourth year. Coach Joe Bugle gets fired, and Buddy Ryan gets the job. I told my wife, I said, I don't know if I'm going back to the Cardinals because I heard that Buddy Ryan wasn't a player's coach. It actually wasn't true. And just like wives do typically, she said, why you really don't want to go? And the truth is, I wasn't sure that I can handle the island. And literally, once I signed back, this is when I found out how God works. It puts you in situations to draw things out of you.
Wow.
So literally, Buddy Ryan, when we got there, his two boys, the twins, Rex and Rob.
Yeah.
Rob was my defensive back coach, right? Rob put his arms around me right after I signed, and this is the power of coaches and their belief in a player. He says, Aeneas, you can lead this league in interceptions. And by the way, I was Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Right.
So I had a good career starting out in my first 3 years. He says, Aeneas, you can lead this league in interceptions, make All-Pro, and the Pro Bowl. He said, I saw you set the national record your last year in college, 11 interceptions. You could do that here. DeMarco, I literally did it. And in training camp, Rob's dad, Coach Buddy Ryan, said, I'm now putting Aeneas on the best receiver.
Ooh.
Whereas before in Houston, in Chicago, he always kept his corners left and right. And he gave Rob the permission to allow me to be the first Revis Island.
To let you travel with
Let me travel.
You were the first traveling cornerback.
In his system.
Oh, my goodness.
He didn't believe in that. It was left and right. But Rob believed the intelligence, because the other thing about being a shutdown corner is understanding if you don't have a guy that's intelligent and has the ability to adjust, then you can always know that the team is in one-on-one. But when you have a guy who has the ability, even in zone, you go across the formation to understand I could become a weak side linebacker. I can end up being a nickel corner. And you have to know this. And that's what I like seeing with Jalen Ramsey.
I was just going to say, you were describing Jalen Ramsey now.
Yes.
I mean, I think he's more than just a corner. You
Absolutely.
can't say he's a corner. He's a defensive player, period, because of how many places you put him. Like you said, I mean, do you watch him and say, I understand what he's thinking because I've done the same stuff?
No doubt. Yeah. And I never forget when, I think it was Josh Norman, signed a huge contract with the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
I think they were playing early in the season of that first contract. They were playing against Antonio Brown and the Steelers.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But the coach didn't match him up with Antonio Brown, and Antonio Brown was killing them.
Right.
And a lot of people saying, they gave him all this money. Why didn't they match him up? Here's what you have to understand. You not only have to have a guy who can cover, you have to have a guy who can make adjustments.
Wow.
Where you don't have him now, you've gotten him out of his comfort zone. Now he's thinking. I wanted to see that with Jalen Ramsey. He can go and shut down a guy. Think about Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
Most time he was
one side.
left corner, right? That I won't diminish that. Won't take anything from him.
Great player, but he played one side of the field.
But when you're moving around, and what I'm seeing, what they've done and what Jalen has done, that has shown me so much about his ceiling is so much higher, where some coaches would have just limited him to covering a wide receiver on the outside.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. So when they say the best corner in the game,
yeah.
I'll ask you your opinion. Mm-hmm. What is the criteria to be the best cornerback in the game? One
criteria is you have to be able to find and be matched up one-on-one with the best receiver.
And you have to want to.
You have to want it.
Yeah.
You have to. So that's the first criteria.
Yeah.
Second criteria is the ability, if they're going to move the guy. So, for example, how I love Cooper Kupp and everything he's doing, it is still mind-boggling that as good as he is, as good as he's shown to be, he still ends up wide open to all of the kids who are playing football, who are thinking about playing defensive back. I'm thinking about having a camp this spring because I can't understand how Cooper, and man, let me make sure, he's outstanding, 6'2", excellent route runner, run after the catch, excellent cerebral skills. So he has it all. So I'm not dismissing it. But what I am saying is, particularly when you have a number of guys that are undisciplined with their eyes, undisciplined holding their leverage,
right,
it makes covering that guy impossible.
I just had this conversation with another guy on the radio. He asked me, how does Cooper Kupp keep getting open? I didn't have an answer. I don't know. And you don't know.
No, I do know. Right. Every time I see Isaac Torrey or any receiver, I ask him the question. But it's rhetorical when I ask. Coach McVay, OBJ being there. Unfortunately, Robert going out, Robert Woods.
Oh, man.
But OBJ, the tight end, and Sean's willingness to coach to spread the ball, but also be creative with him, moving him around. Going back to the original question, what makes a guy a great corner? If they put him in the backfield, do I have the ability to go line up on him?
Wow.
If they put him at tight end, do I have the ability to now line up on him and still hold my leverage?
That's the answer. They move him around so many spaces. Not many guys can do that.
Absolutely.
I think the Rams actually have the guy that can do that. And they're on the same team.
And with a lot of the teams, a number of these defensive really do not want to complicate the game for a lot of these young men. Because if you start adjusting as it relates to Cooper moving, shifts, and all of those things, all of a sudden now you have a defensive back who's second-guessing. We see him get behind, 10 yards in that Tampa game.
Yeah.
You see in a zero coverage.
He's guessing.
Right. Or you have some kind of hesitation because you've changed your call because he moved around.
Don't get me started on these younger players. See, we had it rough. You know, it's a different style enough. Speaking of that, when you see Brett Farr, what does he say to you? I just got to know.
Yeah. But besides Brett, Brett did it, but also many don't remember the same thing. We upset the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs, and I intercepted Troy Aikman twice.
And you got McNabb
right? I got McNabb the last turnover in the game. But what people don't remember is how much flack I get from the San Francisco 49ers fans.
Why do you get flack from them?
Because I was the last one to hit Steve Young.
You knocked him cold and put him out. That's right.
And it was a legal hit. It would have been legal today. I didn't use my head. I used my shoulder pads, right?
Yeah.
So finally at the hall, because I was getting so much flack, social media, every time I went somewhere from 49er fans, I say, Steve Young, I need you to tell your 49ers fans that I didn't end your career. He says, no, Aeneas, and they need to know, Aeneas, you helped me make one of the best decisions of my life. Number one, I didn't hang around longer than I should.
Good point.
Number two, I got married, and then I got this great ESPN contract. I said, would you put this on video? So I recorded it, and then I posted it on social media.
You knocked him into marriage. I like that. That's good. That's good. That's one way to get to the altar. I like it. Well, do me a favor. We do this on Rams Iconic. And is it the Steve Young hit? Your favorite play as a Ram? Can you describe your favorite play?
Favorite play as a Ram is in that divisional playoff game. What many don't remember, I had 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. I also had a strip fumble that I ran 80 yards back, but it was called back because Antonio Freeman barely touched me.
I remember this.
Incidentally, when I got up and ran, and just remembering that, getting the ball out, and how important what Coach Lovey was to get the ball and making that a priority, that's what I remember.
See, I would have gone with the Steve Young hit. See, you ended Steve Young. For me, I was happy. I was cheering. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you don't have the 49er fans coming after you, man. I have to be careful because we're in California.
I lost a bunch to the Niners. See, I'm coming after them. It's the other way around. Aeneas, man, thank you for joining us, man. Good stuff. Your prediction for the game real quick.
10 points.
10 points.
L.A. Rams.
10-point victory.
10-point victory. That front four getting after Joe Burrow. If Tennessee got him 8 times, if the Rams get him 5 or more times, he won't be doing the same thing he did when Tennessee hit him.
My man, Aeneas Williams. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining us. Good
Appreciate
stuff.
It. Glad
Absolutely.
to be with you.
Yes, you knocked out Steve Young. I was so happy. Sleep. I don't care if it was legal. My man to my right needs no intro, but I'll do it anyway. He was a Ram from 91 to 2000, 5th pick in the 1991 draft. I love that. Pro Bowl in 1999, Super Bowl champ, 37 career interceptions, 6 interceptions in 1999, 4 interceptions returned for touchdowns, correct?
Correct.
My man, Todd Lyght. What's going on, Todd?
Not a whole lot. DeMarco, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Excellent.
I'm good. I was telling them earlier about you had a rule in the DB room. Interceptions they only count when you catch them with your hands.
That's right.
No baskets.
No baskets.
Where did that come about, no baskets?
Well,
is that only for DBs? Because I had a few baskets myself.
No question. You know what I mean? A lot of people catch the ball with their body, but, if you want to be an elite ball catcher, you have to catch the ball with your hands. It's called hand-eye coordination, right? Not eye-body coordination. So that was our big thing. Like, we always wanted to make sure that, we were doing our best to create turnovers, create short fields for the offense, give our team the best chance to win. Obviously, if you win the turnover ratio, most of the time you're going to win the game. And so we took a lot of pride in that. And, Keith Lyle, who had 12 interceptions one season, didn't make the Pro Bowl, had a phenomenal career. And we also had other guys, Dre Bly, who else was in the back? Dexter McLeon. Billy Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So we all took pride in catching the ball and making sure that, we were sure with our hands.
You were always one of my favorite players. I don't know if you knew this. One, because you were a dynamite player. Number two, you always look great in the uniform.
Thank you.
I always said if I look like close to Todd, I'm good in this uniform.
Right. You know what? That's funny that you say that because Tom Brady told me something similar to that. He was like, "Oh yeah, Todd Lyght, 41, you with the white long sleeves," and I was like, "You remember that?" He was like, "Man, that's a sweet look." I was like,
perfect spat.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciated that. You know what I mean? Listen, like Deion said, you look good, you feel good, you play good, and that was true. And so obviously, this weekend's going to be a big game for the Rams, and I'm so glad that we're wearing the white jerseys with the yellow pant. Blue helmet, that iconic look is going to look good when we win that Super Bowl on Sunday.
I was talking to Aeneas Williams, and he was telling a story, or he was shocked about Cooper Kupp.
Right.
Like he, as a cornerback, a Hall of Fame quarterback, still can't figure out why Cooper Kupp still gets open. You
know what's interesting?
Yeah.
The very first time I came out and watched the Rams practice, I was watching practice with Eric Dickerson. And Cooper Kupp was wearing 18 at the time, and I was like, noticing flashing in practice. I'm like, man, who's 18? He was like, that's Cooper Kupp. And I was like, is he nice? And Eric looked at me, he was like, he's super nice. And from then on, I just always assumed that Cooper was going to be a superstar because of Eric's blessing that one day. But just to watch him mature, his route running, his ability to get open, and he rarely drops the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the quarterback has huge confidence in making sure that he gets the ball. He's always in the right place. And the timing of his routes is unbelievable. His body control, his speed to balance ratio is off the charts, and so he has the making of a phenomenal wide receiver, and it's just a pleasure to watch him play.
You know what? The funny thing, the one knock I would say, and it's not really a knock, It's the same I would say about you. He's tremendous, but he doesn't talk about himself enough. You know what I mean? He doesn't make enough noise.
Right.
But he's still getting the accolades he should get.
Absolutely.
We talked about this earlier. I think you should have made the Pro Bowl a lot more than what you did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it happens. I mean, this is a different time. When we came into the league, they only took 3 corners, right? And so usually it was Deion Sanders, and the other one was Darrell Green, and everybody else was fighting for that 3rd spot, which was usually going to be Aeneas Williams, Eric Allen, or myself. And so there's a lot of time I came in 4th, a lot of time I came in 5th, a lot of time I came in 6th. And if the system was set up the way it is now, I'd have made a lot more Pro Bowls. But, that's neither here nor there. What I do know,
or if you would have acted a fool a few times, you know what I mean? Right.
But for me, it was always about the team, right?
Yeah.
And it was always about, what do my coaches think about me as a teammate, and what do my teammates think about me as a teammate? And that's all that ever mattered to me when I was playing. It was always about the team. It was always about the organization. It was always about trying to win and never trying to bring personal attention to myself.
That's why I love that room in '99, man.
Yes.
Our defensive room. It was all about us.
No doubt.
Not just me or we or what. It was about the team. How
Yes.
can we win this football game today?
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because, we struggled a lot, getting to that point where we were Super Bowl champions. But, because we weren't very good, we were able to accumulate a lot of really, really good players. And I think our front office did a phenomenal job of piecing that team together with those core pieces. And then finally, when we got the jewel of the crown, Marshall came in through free agency. I mean, sky was the limit, obviously. And then we took off like a rocket. And it's interesting now, too, because the way that this team is built, completely
Similar.
different. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about in terms of not through the draft.
Oh, not through the draft.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
You know what I mean? Different that way. You know what I mean? Obviously, they've accumulated a lot of great draft picks, but they also done a great job in free agency and bringing veterans in to come in and assimilate really quickly. And that's when you have to give a lot of credit to Coach McVay and be able to bring in guys like Von Miller, bringing guys like OBJ in and assimilate them to the team so quickly and have that success right away.
How hard is that to recruit a guy to L.A.? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? Not really, right? Because the weather is phenomenal out here. It's like I was sitting at my daughter's soccer practice last night. It was like 75. The sky was purple. And then I was like, we're going to the Super Bowl in a couple of days.
It's
Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's just beautiful life, man. If you're a really good free agent, come on.
Absolutely. I remember that we were in the weight room, and we had those TVs in there, and there was Marshall on the treadmill.
Yes.
This is before we got him. He was running on the treadmill talking about leaving Indy.
Yes.
And then the next thing you know, he was with us.
Yes.
And we got one of the best weapons in football on our football team. We knew on defense, we had played against some of the best quarterbacks, the best offenses in the league.
Right.
We weren't far off defensively.
No.
We just needed to pick it up on offense, and when we got him, everything just changed for us.
It really did, and it's really interesting because I came into the league in '91. I was able to play against guys like Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Warren Moon, all these phenomenal players, and I remember the year before Marshall came to our team, we played against him in Indy. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I do.
And he ran for like 175. He had like 3 touchdowns, and I think he had 2 touchdowns called back.
Yes.
Right. And so I remember after the game,
he went right between me and Kevin like 3 times.
I remember thinking after the game, I was like, godly, because we used to watch him at Notre Dame when he was at San Diego State. We were like, man, he can't be that good. There's no way. He's in the WAC. There's no way he's that good.
Said the same
and then
thing.
after the game, I'm like, he's that good.
Right.
And then
when he came out, they booed him.
Right.
You remember that?
Yeah,
Something
they didn't know.
happened. They booed him, and then at the end of the game, he was like, he got a standing O. He torched us.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing. Anyways, but I just remember him being the first day in the building. I just walked over to him. I gave him a big hug. I was like, welcome to the team. I was so excited to play with him. And, Marshall and I are close friends. We play golf together. I go down to San Diego. He comes up to Orange County. We hang out all the time. And, just a phenomenal teammate. Just a great man representing this organization, first class.
That's what he said. I wish I would have kept up with playing golf. We all started playing golf like in 99, 98.
Right.
I wish I would have kept up with it. I can't play. I hate golf right now.
You know what? I'm getting better.
Yeah?
And, I'm a lot better than when I started in St. Louis, because when I was starting in St. Louis, we were hitting shooting like 100.
Yeah.
Now I can shoot in the low 80s, you know what I mean? But it is a process for sure.
Speak for yourself. Yeah, I'm in the high hundreds. I'm still going. We do this thing on Rams Iconic. I'm so glad you're here. If you can describe your favorite play as a Ram.
Yes.
One thing that sticks out and stands out in your mind.
My favorite personal play, and you're involved in this too, would be the field goal block in the Super Bowl. It's interesting because, during that whole season, Coach Gantz had Dre Bly line up on the left, and I would line up on the right.
Frank Gantz,
our special teams coach, and then we would blitz contain from the outside. Well, in this one particular play, the first drive in the second half of the game, against Tennessee Titans, Dre's like, no, let's switch the alignment up. Why don't you come over here with me? And I know through their study.
Wait. Wasn't Dre Brown a rookie then?
Dre was a rookie.
He was a rookie and suggests to you in year what now? 9?
9, yeah.
In year 9, hey, let's switch up.
Switch the formation. But
wow.
you always got to sense the energy of your teammate and always be able to adjust on the fly.
Yeah.
We always talked about that, making those adjustments on the fly. And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. I mean, we got nothing to lose. We're here to win the world championship. And so we switched our alignment up, which broke all the tendencies that the Tennessee Titans had seen all year. I hit the inside gap. Dre hits the outside gap. The guy thinks I'm going outside. I get a free run, make the block, you recover it.
Yeah.
And that set up the first touchdown. So that was really a 10-point swing, which was really huge for the game because we ended up winning by 7.
Yeah. I'm glad I recovered it. I wish somebody else would have, because maybe we would have scooped and scored on that. But yeah, man, I mean, we were pretty good on special teams.
No question.
How many field goals did you block in your lifetime?
You know what? 1.
That was the one?
That was the one.
I thought you had another one before.
No, that was the only one. I blocked a punt.
A punt.
One punt, one field goal, and I blocked 1 field goal and 1 punt in college.
No way.
Yeah. The only one, though.
Okay, well, answer me. You had 4 return touchdowns, interception returns.
Yeah.
How many total touchdowns did you have in your life? Because I know you had to scoop and score.
Yeah, 6 defensive total touchdowns. Yeah. There was a couple fumbles, and I think there's one where somebody blocked the field goal. This is when I was in Detroit with the Lions, and Scoop and scored that. And I think I still have the record as the oldest guy to return a blocked field goal in the NFL. That's my NFL record.
The oldest guy to return a blocked field goal for a touchdown.
I think I was 35 at the time. I don't know if that record still stands.
I'm going to win every trivia contest I have from now on. Absolutely. No, yeah, let's edit that part out. I need that one. But you were up in Detroit. You said this earlier. You are kind of rooting for Matthew Stafford.
There's no question.
You understand what he's been through.
Yes.
And
and anybody
what it is now, yeah.
And anybody who knows the Detroit organization, you know, shout out to the Ford family. They do a great job, but it's tough to win in Detroit. It really, really is. I mean, it's a tough conference. You're playing the Bears, right? You're playing Green Bay, which is always a solid program, and they just have never been able to get over that hump. And I kind of watched the Lions just because I spent 2 years with them, and I also lived in Michigan, before I went to college in Indiana, and have always been a Matthew Stafford fan just because of the way that he played the game. I mean, his grittiness, his ability to place the ball, everywhere he wants. He has a great deep ball. He's really, really smart. His toughness is off the charts, right? And then when he got the chance to come to L.A. and, assimilated to the team really well, and I know the fans were super happy, and I know I was, because I was at that first game against the Bears, and when he launched that first touchdown pass for like 60 yards, I was like, yeah, we got our guy.
Yeah. Van Jefferson, 67 yards.
Yes, exactly.
That was his 3rd play as a Ram.
Yeah, and I was like, exactly. And I was like, you know what? We got our guy. He's looking good this season, and they've been playing phenomenal. And I think that they're peaking at the right time. And I'm really, really excited for this game, and I'm really, really excited for the organization.
I respect Joe Burrow, but I think the Rams have too much coming the other way.
Yeah, they do.
Especially in the pass rush. Yeah,
there's no question. I think everybody's always talking about who do you think is going to be the MVP, and I think one of the best players is going to be the MVP, which is Aaron Donald. I mean, when you watch him play, his ability to beat the single, his ability to beat the double, his ability to affect the double with the chip and still be a problem. I mean, I grew up a defensive lineman fan. Like, me and Joe Green was why I wanted to play in the NFL, because I wanted to be big, I wanted to be strong, I wanted to be fast. And when I look at, what it is, he's the closest thing to me and Joe Green, if not better than me and Joe Green.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the type of player he is.
Wait a minute. One of my favorite corners in life wanted to be a defensive tackle. You could have come on down there and take some of these reps.
I know. I never got big enough.
Because I wanted to be a corner. See? I wanted to be out there on the island.
No
Absolutely.
Question.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of watching Jalen Ramsey play? I got to ask you this.
I'm a huge fan. I think Jalen is phenomenal.
What about the other corners, though? We talk a lot about Jalen.
Yes.
He's going to have his hands full with Jamar Chase. What about the other corners, the guys to the other side?
Right. They're going to have their hands full, because there are going to be times when, Raheem is going to have to call man-to-man coverage. He's going to close the middle of the field, and they're going to bring a 5-man pressure.
Right.
And they're going to have to win their one-on-ones. And I think that they can do it. I just think that, in order for us to be successful, especially on 3rd down, it's going to be our technique and our ability to get to our technique faster than the opponent. And if we can do that defensively, especially on the perimeter with the guys of like number 11, number 22, Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle is a great addition. Obviously, I love him coming off the couch.
He was on the couch for 2 years.
Dude, come out balling.
Wow. Okay,
superhero style. You know what I mean? I think that we can get it done. I really do. And they're not going to be able to stay away from Jalen the whole game. You know what I mean? They're going to have to test him and attack him at times, and he's just going to have to be on point and be ready. But I think that this defense is peaking peaking at the right time, and I think that they're ready to make big plays to bring this organization another championship.
See, you just went from Todd Lyght to Coach Lyght. See, that was Coach Lyght right there. See, you missed the game, man. You miss it.
I do. I really, really do. But I'm a big fan. I always have been, always will be. And to have the organization back in L.A. and have all the fans excited about the program, it has been phenomenal. And I think that, the culmination with winning the championship, because L.A. needs a winner, right? Whether it's the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Angels, the Kings or whoever, because we got plenty of teams. But we need a champion. And I think that, the Rams are suited to be the next champion.
Coming soon to a theater near you. L.A. Rams, world champions.
No doubt.
Todd Lyght, man, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, brother.
This was special. I know I got one of those.
Yes, you do.
That's a Super Bowl ring.
And I always wear it when I'm around my guys to show them the proper respect.
See? That's my dude. Todd Lyght, man.
All right, love you, bro.
Thank you so much. That's a wrap on this episode of Rams Iconic from the Penthouse 56 in downtown Los Angeles, hosted by the Los Angeles Rams and SoFi. Thank you to Todd Lyght, Jim Everett, Aeneas Williams for sitting down with me and reliving some of their career highlights as Rams, as well as previewing Super Bowl 56. Don't forget to drop us a review. Hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you for listening. I'm DeMarco Farr, and we'll see you next time on Rams Iconic.